month. And even here, though, even here at the coroner's office, where we know that Michael Jackson's body was moved last night, even here, people are remembering Michael Jackson. This is just an impromptu memorial here just across the street. This poster here says, "I just can't stop loving you. See you one day when it's my turn. Save me a spot in heaven." And then down here, candles and flowers. This is half a dozen red roses. The note on it here says, "Dear Michael, shine on. Love, Jana, Alec, and Dorel." All these things, you know, who knows who they came from. People just wanted to put something out here to say, look, the coroner's office is there, and we want something to show that the person we love, even though we never knew him, we love him, is remembered. Now, the coroner, Betty, as you mentioned, he is waiting for the toxicology report. He has said preliminarily that he believes that there were prescription drugs in Michael Jackson's system. Other than that, though, no indication of what might have led to the cardiac arrest on Thursday. But we do have what we received last night, this really dramatic 911 call that the LAPD released of someone at the rented mansion where Michael was staying, calling 911, saying there's a person here who isn't breathing. Now, he never says it's Michael Jackson, but here is this dramatic call. You almost want him to say it's Michael Jackson. Here's part of this dramatic phone call.
What is that? Is an emergency? Yes, sir. I need an ambulance as soon as possible, sir. We have a gentleman here that needs help, and he's not breathing yet. He's not breathing, and we're trying to pump him, but he's not. Okay. Okay. How old is he? He's 50 years old, sir. 50. Okay. He's unconscious. He's not breathing. Yes, he's not breathing, sir. Okay, and he's not conscious either. He's not breathing. He's not conscious, sir. Okay. All right. Do you have him? Is he on the floor? Where's he at right now? He's on the bed, sir. He's on the bed. Okay, let's get him on the floor. Okay. Okay, let's get him down to the floor. I'm gonna help you with CPR right now. Okay. We need him. We need a. Yes, we're already on our way there.
So again, that was part of the 911 tape, and as we know now, it was Michael Jackson's personal physician, a doctor named Conrad Murray, who was trying to revive him. He wasn't able to. The ambulance took Michael Jackson to UCLA Med Center, where the doctors tried for more than an hour to revive him, and of course, they weren't successful. We don't know when there's going to be a funeral or any kind of official memorial service, but Betty, you know, as you can see here from all the flowers left, you know, you really have to think, who buys flowers for someone they don't know, for an entertainer that they can't even get close to, maybe even never had the money to go to a Michael Jackson concert, and yet they've brought things. This one, it's, I'll show you the outside of it. It just says, "For Michael Jackson," and it isn't open, so I won't open it. I send it up to God, and Michael Jackson, it's for him. Betty?
All right, CNN Susan Roesgen, thanks so much for that. We do appreciate it.
Well, while people are remembering the king of pop, a lot of people, and especially those close to him, raising questions, serious ones, about the possible prescription drugs he was taking. Here are the questions. How many was he taking?
Codes and things. One of the signs here says, "You are the soundtrack of my youth. Thank you, Michael." So again, this is just outside the coroner's office, where people felt they needed to come here when the body was here, as one woman told me, to just say goodbye in her own way. So what the coroner has said last night, Frederica, is that they did do the autopsy. It was a routine autopsy. They didn't do anything that they wouldn't do normally. What they have found so far is simply that there was no obvious cause of death, but the coroner did say that they did find prescription drugs in Michael Jackson's system. And so now, Frederica, they're going to have a toxicology report, and that won't come back for about a month or so. After that, after the autopsy, more people coming here to bring things. After the autopsy, the body was taken to an unnamed funeral home, and of course you can understand that. The family doesn't want people coming around to gawk at the funeral home, and we don't know yet any sort of funeral arrangements. But what we do also have, Frederica, is this 911 tape. Now, we've got these two things going. We have these memorials here in Los Angeles, and then we also have the police investigation into what happened. So here is this 911 tape, and you'll hear somebody, we don't know who it is, perhaps a bodyguard, a friend of Michael Jackson's, on the phone trying to get some help. Here's part of that tape.
What is that? Is an emergency? Yes, sir. I need an ambulance as soon as possible, sir. We have a gentleman here that needs help, and he's not breathing yet. He's not breathing, and we're trying to pump him, but he's not. Okay. Okay. How old is he? He's 50 years old, sir. 50. Okay. He's unconscious. He's not breathing. Yes, he's not breathing, sir. Okay, and he's not conscious.
conscious either. It's not
No, he's
breathing.
not conscious, sir.
Okay. All right. Do you have him? Is he on the floor? Where's he at right now?
He's on the bed, sir. He's on the bed.
Okay, let's get him on the floor.
Okay?
Okay, let's get him down to the floor. I'm gonna help you with CPR right now. Okay.
We need him. We need a.
Yes, we're already on our way there.
So we understand that the person there who was performing CPR was Michael Jackson's personal physician, a doctor named Conrad Murray. And this physician had actually been hired by AEG Entertainment, the concert promoter that was planning the big comeback tour for Michael Jackson that was supposed to start next month, had actually agreed to let Michael Jackson have his personal physician with him. So that's where things stand right now, Frederica. The police say that Dr. Murray is not in any way a focus of a criminal investigation. They have talked to him, and they say that he is cooperating. But, you know, as you can tell, so many people here in Los Angeles and all around the world just want to get some answers. And what I think is really touching, Frederica, when you look at the flowers and the balloons, is that people who never knew this big star personally, could never have even gotten close to him, are some of the people who seem to be mourning him the most.
And Susan, it seems throughout Los Angeles, and we've seen it in many cities across the country, there are lots of different locations that these sorts of tributes are taking place. You've got that right outside the coroner's office, also outside well, where his star on the Walk of Fame is as well. When people have walked up to that location where you are, have they said anything as they place these flowers? Have they made any particularly poignant remarks to you?
Yes, I talked to one woman, Frederica. She's a nurse, and she walked a few blocks over here. She said after her night shift, after she had worked all night, she walked over here because she said she just felt she had to be here, and she was crying, Frederica, when she talked to me. And I said, you know, really so many people don't understand this emotion. You never knew him. And she said sort of what some of the signs are saying, but I grew up with him. I loved his songs. My favorite song, she said, was I'll Be There. And so people made, you know, an emotional attachment to a person through music, and I guess that shows the power of his music.
And as it pertains to the investigation, Susan, you mentioned Dr. Murray has been questioned already. He has yet more questions to answer with the authorities. And what about the person who made the phone call, that 911 call? Who is being questioned in all as investigators try to piece together exactly what happened preceding his visit to the hospital?
Well, there's a lot of things we don't know, Frederica, but what we do know is that they have talked to Dr. Murray. They say they want to talk to him again. They haven't told us yet who it was that actually made that 911 call. I'm sure they're going to talk to him because they want to know what happened. Did you see the collapse? Did you see Dr. Murray performing CPR on Michael Jackson? Also, they towed away a car belonging to Dr. Murray's sister on Thursday night, Frederica, because they said there might be some evidence, though they didn't say what it was, in his car.
Susan Roesgen, thanks so much outside the LA coroner's office there in Los Angeles. Thanks so much. So with all the questions being raised about prescription drugs, it's no wonder people are remembering.
Did go into cardiac arrest at his home in Los Angeles on Thursday, as you recall, and then was later pronounced dead at the hospital. All right, so the LA coroner also has ordered more tests. Let's see if we can get more on that specifically.
Yeah, Susan Roesgen outside the coroner's office there in LA. What are they going to be looking for going forward here, Susan?
Well, TJ, what they're going to be looking for more of, I think you could say, is more specifics on what sort of drugs were in Michael Jackson's body. And I say that because the coroner did say last night that there were prescription drugs in Michael Jackson's body. But this is not the toxicology report. That toxicology report will take at least a month, and so that's when they're going to know really if there were some sort of drugs in Michael Jackson's system that might have contributed to his death. The coroner also said last night that there was no obvious sign of any kind of trauma to Jackson's body, nothing that would really suggest what would have led to the cardiac arrest or the heart attack. And as Betty mentioned earlier, the family talked to the coroner. They didn't want anybody to know where the body was taken, and the coroner said he won't say anything. He will respect their wishes.
The cause of death has been deferred, which means that the medical examiner has ordered additional testing, such as toxicology and other studies. There was no indication of any external trauma or any indication of foul play on the body of Mr. Jackson.
And again, the coroner said to folks last night that the body was taken to an undisclosed funeral home at the family's wishes. Now, you know, the big thing that everybody wants to know, TJ, as we've been talking about, is what could have led to the cardiac arrest. We do know that the LA Times is reporting, TJ, that the day before the death, that on Wednesday, Michael Jackson had a full rehearsal, a full concert rehearsal for his upcoming, what would have been his upcoming comeback concert dates in London. And at that rehearsal, nobody said that they noticed anything wrong. He seemed upbeat, excited, energetic. They just didn't see any sign that he was sick. TJ?
Well, Susan, let me ask you this. Can we gather any clues from those 911 tapes which have been released?
You know, maybe the authorities can learn something. Really, a dramatic 911 tape yesterday, or rather on Thursday. You hear somebody, you don't know who it is, in the rented mansion where Michael Jackson was staying on the 911 call, and he is so frantic to get somebody there, as you would be, of course, and he never says, "It's Michael Jackson, get over here." Here you can listen to part of this really dramatic 911 tape.
Sir, we have a gentleman here that needs help, and he's not breathing yet. He's not breathing, and we're trying to pump him, but he's not
Okay.
breathing, sir.
Okay, how old is he?
He's 50 years old, sir.
50. Okay. He's unconscious. He's not breathing.
Yes, he's not breathing, sir.
Okay, and he's not conscious either. He's not
No,
breathing.
he's not conscious, sir.
Okay. All right. Do you have him? Is he on the floor? Where's he at right now?
He's on the bed, sir. He's on the bed.
Okay, let's get him on the floor.
Okay?
Okay, let's get him down to the floor. I'm gonna help you with CPR right now. Okay.
We need him. We need a
Yes, we're already on our way there. We're on our way. I'm gonna do as
Thank
much
you,
I can to help you over the phone. We're already on our way. Did anybody see him?
Yes, we have a personal doctor here with him, sir.
Oh, you have a doctor there?
Yes, but he's not responding to anything. So no, he's not responding to CPR or anything, sir.
Oh, okay.
Now, we know that that personal doctor was Conrad Murray. We know that it was Michael Jackson's personal doctor because AEG, the entertainment company that was promoting the concert tour, that had hired Michael Jackson for the tour, also by contract had to hire Michael Jackson's personal physician. He did try to revive Michael Jackson there. As we know, it was not successful. But TJ, that doctor, TJ and Betty, that doctor is not under any kind of criminal investigation. The Los Angeles police have talked to him, but they say they do want to know more, and they will continue to talk to him about what happened in Michael Jackson's final minutes.
Yeah, not only does the investigators want to know more, the family, in fact, wants to know more. They have not heard from that doctor, according to the Reverend Jesse Jackson. In fact, we're going to be talking with him shortly. Since, you know, the last time that he was...
Absolutely free.
A special Larry King tribute to Michael Jackson. See you then tonight, 9 Eastern.
It's numbing, of course. It's been like that since it happened, and it's unbelievable. I can't figure it out. I can't understand it, but it happened, and
Did you know of any health problems he had?
Oh, I did know of his basic condition. You know, I think most people did. That he was very weak, and he was. You know, and a lot of stress. You know, he's had a lot of stress.
He had a tough life, didn't he? I mean, with all
yeah,
the good.
it turned out to be a tough life. You know, it turned out to be a tough life. In the last several years, it's been really tough.
Well, singer Tony Orlando, another longtime friend of Michael Jackson, he says he actually met Michael when he was only 12 years old, and he had happier recollections of him.
Yes, in fact, we talked with Tony Orlando by phone earlier this morning to get some of his memories. Take a listen. What do you think of Michael Jackson, the man, as he grew up, and the friendship that the both of you had? How did that grow?
Well, the thing that amazed me about Michael was that it was a very interesting kind of change in him, that when he was 12 years old, he was a very mature 12 years old. He was almost a boy man. And then as he approached his adult years, it reversed. He became a man child.
Why was that, do you think?
I just think that Michael missed his childhood. We've heard this time and time again, you know, but I think that Michael very much related to Disney, to Peter Pan, to the flight.
Was it escapism?
Well, I think it was less escapism and more trying to live something that you and I and most of us take for granted, and that is just our everyday childhood. I think that he wanted very much to be that little boy, and as he got older, it became more important to him.
And Orlando says one of Jackson's hit songs, We Are the World, was ahead of its time. He says the spirit of that song is what's needed now.
And from the CNN Center, this is CNN Saturday Morning on this June 27th. Hello to you all. I'm TJ Holmes.
Yes, good morning, everybody. I'm Betty Nguyen. Thanks for starting your day with us. All right, so even though Michael Jackson earned hundreds of millions of dollars over his career, he's been struggling with debt for years. We're going to talk to the man who ran Epic Records.
And meanwhile, it is expected to be several weeks before we know the exact cause of Michael Jackson's death. An initial autopsy has been performed, but the coroner wants to run more tests having to do with possible drugs in his system. Let's get to Susan Roesgen now, who's outside the Los Angeles coroner's office. I guess moving forward, what might they be looking for?
TJ, they're going to be looking for drugs, obviously. Prescription medicine, maybe some prescription medicines that might have in some way contributed to Michael Jackson's death. Now, the coroner did say last night at about 9:30, came out very late, and he said that they had completed the autopsy. It was a routine autopsy, nothing out of the ordinary, but he said that in his initial results, there was no finding of any kind of blunt trauma or anything else that would have possibly led to Michael Jackson's cardiac arrest. And he also said that there were prescription drugs. They had been able to determine that there were prescription drugs in Michael Jackson's system. And the toxicology report that would really spell out what drugs and what effect that might have had on his body won't come back for about a month. Here's more from the coroner last night here in Los Angeles.
The cause of death has been deferred, which means that the medical examiner has ordered additional testing, such as toxicology and other studies. There was no indication of any external trauma or any indication of foul play on the body of Mr. Jackson.
Now, the coroner also said that the family asked him not to tell anyone where the body was taken. We know that the body was taken last night from the coroner's office here behind me to a funeral home, but we don't know where. And that makes sense, really, I think, TJ and Betty, because the family wants some privacy. But this is such a huge story. I'll show you this morning's Los Angeles Times. It just came out. 3 section fronts have the Michael Jackson story. First, memorial in Encino, where the family's home is. Then on the business section, people who are selling things, selling T-shirts and things here in Los Angeles. And then in front of the lifestyle section, you don't even need a caption for this. I think everyone recognizes the iconic silhouette of Michael Jackson, top hat. If you could see it, white socks, probably the one glove. So people are remembering him, TJ and Betty, remembering all the wonderful hits he had, and also talking about what the strange and unusual and sad private life he had as well.
Susan, do we know, we're starting to hear some rumblings about the family possibly wanting to do their own autopsy. Are you hearing that there as well? And have we any idea when that might happen?
No, TJ, I haven't heard that, but I think that actually stems from some questions about the doctor, the last person to see Michael Jackson possibly alive. This is his personal physician who performed CPR on him at his rented mansion. But then Michael Jackson, you know, was taken to UCLA Med Center, where the doctors there worked for another hour to revive him. So Los Angeles police have talked to his personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray. They say that he's been fully cooperative. He is not the subject of an investigation. But as you have reported here, TJ, already this morning, the family says they haven't talked to that personal physician. And so they have some questions. So maybe they are going to pursue this with their own autopsy. But I haven't heard that yet officially.
Yeah, certainly not official there. You know, we're hearing all kinds of stuff right now, people trying to piece this thing together. Susan Roesgen, we appreciate you being on the scene for us and on the story this morning. Thank you so much.
Well, the House has passed.
Yeah, in these massive hit shows. It's funny because today, this blows my mind. It's already been 2 years since, is that right? 2 years since Frasier ended.
3 seasons, actually.
3 seasons.
Yeah,
3 seasons since Frasier ended. You've had that time off. What have you been doing with yourself?
Well, mostly, let me for 1 second just say something about you that I was very impressed the other night when you heard that you had won the award. They handed you the trophy, and you took a minute and passed it off to, I guess, one of your head writers or who made the acceptance speech for the show, and I was just very impressed by your humility and your style.
Oh, that's so well.
Very cool.
Oh, that's nice.
But what have I been doing?
Yeah.
Well, this leads wonderfully into a story about sailing.
Oh, do you like to sail?
I sail. Yeah. I started sailing when I was 8 or 9 years old, and I've kept it up all my life ever since. I have a small sailboat, 37-foot sloop, a Baltic that's actually kind of nice. And for a few years I didn't sail. My wife and I were, busy having children. And,
Sure.
But just a couple months ago, she finally said, why don't you, start sailing again? And then she's joined me, and I'm starting to teach her how to sail and, tie knots and stuff like that.
That's